Moving on, millions of Americans are having trouble paying their bills and saving money, even if they are not living in extreme poverty. And this is according to a research study which is published by the Urban Institute. Low-income Americans are increasingly showing signs of escalating financial strain, like falling behind on rent and struggling to buy food. Take a look at this WION's our special report as we deep dive to understand the surge in poverty in superpower America.
The number of Americans living in poverty, according to the nation's official definition, fell slightly to about 36.8 million in 2023. That is based on the annual Census Bureau report. Data from Propel Inc., a benefit software provider, showed that 42% of families receiving the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Programs, or SNAP, benefits missed meals in August, and 55% ate less because they couldn't afford food, more than double last year's share. Those on SNAP are typically households with income at or below the poverty line. The data also highlights households' deteriorating financial situation. Since July, a growing number of low-income families have had their utilities cut off because they could not pay the bill or cover their rent. Among individuals who were receiving the increased SNAP benefits, more than two-thirds stated they were also in debt. Justin King, policy director of Propel, said, and I quote, "There's a lot of hardship being experienced by people with lower incomes right now. We've seen a lot of cutbacks in safety net benefits this year, and we're seeing the impact." The research adds to the other recent economic data pointing to a deterioration in consumer finances and attitudes, especially among low-income families, due to the slowing of labor market demand, the drying up of savings, and the withdrawal of pandemic-driven social assistance. More than a third of respondents in the Household Pulse poll found it extremely or somewhat difficult to afford the necessities. A census report shows the poverty rate in the United States saw an increase in 2023. The Census Bureau reports that the nation's poverty rate, when adjusted for government support like food assistance and tax credits, edged up to 12.9% in 2023 from 12.4% in 2022. This indicates that while incomes rose, poverty remains a growing concern for many households. A separate report from the Urban Institute showed financial problems have been significantly more prevalent due to the increasing cost of living over the last few years. David Jones, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Community Service Society of New York, one of the study's funders, said, "We've so over-focused on the poverty line that we may have missed that for the first time in America, families are having to look at a worse future for themselves and their children." Jones added that this is a step backward from what was the essential American dream. The study did find that growing costs of living were not the primary cause of economic insecurity, but a lack of financial resources. A supplementary measure that incorporates government transfers showed an increase from 2021 to 2023. The results show that there are more people of color who are suffering than white people. Nearly 70% of Black and Hispanic Americans do not have enough money to pay all of their bills and put some away for the future, but only around 25% of white Americans are unable to do so. For now, the financial trouble among average Americans is a risk that the superpower needs to look at more closely and address as soon as possible.